Greetings and welcome to Pickled Watermelon Rinds, a guilty pleasure podcast featuring Auntie Joan and Ontie, providing our zesty and marginally mature take on current events, pop culture, and trends. Now we invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hello, Auntie Joan.
Hi, Auntie.
How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. How about your own self?
Oh, I'm just fine, thanks.
You're welcome.
I have to tell you, I'm very excited about the warmer weather. I get so into the salads. Not only have I been making Auntie Joan's famous Greek salad with the
Mm,
cauliflower that I just love almost on a weekly basis.
that you have put the link out there for.
That's right. Yes, we did. But now I'm starting to make Auntie Mary's famous cucumber salad, which apparently
Mm.
was her mom's, Irene's recipe. And they had quite a bit growing up, and she had brought it to something last year. Can't remember which get together it was. And I just fell in love with it. And she made it
Oh,
vegan for me because she was very
yeah.
sweet.
Yeah, it's tasty.
Yes. We'll put some recipe stuff out there related to the cucumber salad. But it's good. It's cucumbers and red onion and sour cream with some vinegar and
Mm.
milks,
Some dill.
dill and basil, and then I add in some seasoned salt as well.
Oh,
That was not on Mary's. So it's got a little bit of garlic, a little bit of spices in the seasoned salt. Morton seasoned salt. I used to ask my parents to send me that because I can only find it in Connecticut. We haven't
Morton's
seen it
is
out here.
that's not Lowry's.
No,
It's
Morton's.
uh,
That's
I've
why.
heard that Lowry's is just MSG.
Yeah, Lowry's is red and it tints everything, and it's not the
Oh,
same.
oh, oh.
Morton's is my favorite.
Yeah,
And
Irene was really a sweetheart. I remember going and when my family would go to Stevens Point, Wisconsin, when we would go there in the summertime, our big vacations. Some kids went to Yellowstone, some went to Florida, some went to Disneyland. We went to Stevens Point, Wisconsin. But anyway, when we would go there, my cousin Kathy and I would usually stay at Jerry and Irene's. They would kind of farm the kids out to whoever would take us, to stay overnight. And Irene she was always such a sweetheart to me. She treated me like an equal. I would hear a lot about how wonderful Kathy was, but not Joan. Joan was always the one that was supposed to be like Kathy. And Irene just treated us the same. So I remember that from then, and I still remember it
very
almost
nice.
60 years, 65 years later. So
Mm-hmm.
what you say and do to kids can last a lifetime.
Indeed.
So thanks, Irene. And Jerry, you were a hoot. I always liked him too. So
Nice.
speaking of food, I've been wanting to talk about my breakfasts. I have a new favorite breakfast, and I get the big thing of spinach, put some olive oil in a pan, heat it up, throw in some of that fresh spinach that cooks down to nothing, and at the same time, put in some sliced red onion and mushrooms, cook those suckers up, scramble up one egg and a little half and half or milk, scramble that up and throw it in there. Have it with like a half a bagel or piece of toast, and the piece of resistance, or as some people say, pièce de résistance, is my V8 juice.
Hmm.
I have fallen in love again with V8 juice. Oh my gosh. It's wonderful. It's now a regular in my shopping list. And I get the big jug too.
Mm-hmm.
You get a lot of vegetables in there too. So I
Mm-hmm.
think it's probably better for you than orange juice because there's not the sugar in it,
But there's
like
a
there
lot
would
of
be
sodium.
in the V8.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, you can't get everything right. So there you go. And
Nice.
then the other night, for some reason, I had a taste for grilled chicken breast. And I haven't cooked that out on the grill in a couple of years. And boy, did that hit the spot. That's going to be one of my favorites now. It's just plain and simple, and the charred skin, with the fat that and mm, 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 mm. And don't forget to put some salt on it before
Mm-hmm.
you cook it.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Very
that's my
cool.
excitement about food.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. So what's up with you, sister?
Yeah, I was chatting with my brother last week, and he's very funny. He thinks he's talked to me after he's listened to the podcast. I told him I was going to talk about this, so he's aware. I thought that was really funny. He'll be like, "No, I just talked to her," and then he's like, wait, I think I just listened to the podcast."
So he listens every week, huh?
No.
Oh,
He
but he
most certainly
listens.
does not. He does. He does. I think he's about episode 4 or 5 or something like that. So he's a little behind, but he is at least listening. So we at least have 2 listeners. So that's good. Good to know. Good to know.
Two. Who's the other one? Oh,
Exactly.
oh. Well, hi, bro.
Lots of software issues this week that really drained my brain. Our wonderful Audacity that we have used since the beginning to edit our weekly episodes has been working very well, but over the past few weeks, they went through a software upgrade and it wreaked havoc on some of the stuff that we were working on. Thankfully, most of the things that we had already had converted to MP3s, so it really wasn't catastrophic, but the episode that we had just recorded the week before just got completely messed up. And I was, chatting with the Audacity help people and trying to figure out if we need to switch software, and tried 2 or 3 alternate softwares, all that wonderful stuff. The workaround, I should say, very clearly, it is a workaround and not a very good one, in my opinion, was to downgrade back to the previous version and basically scrape my laptop from any artifacts from the corrupted version. Thankfully, Auntie Joan, where my patience had worn out completely, Auntie Joan said, "Send me the file and I'm going to play with it." So,
Da, 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 da.
and she did an amazing, amazing job. It was basically warping our voices to the point where we sounded like very slow talking old men. It was terrible. And Auntie Joan had the patience to go through and play with pitch and tempo and got it back to where it was at least resembling our voices. Actually, sounds really good. There's some glitches in it. We did put a disclaimer on the episode as a result. We seem to be back on track, but I do appreciate Auntie Joan jumping in because I was really, really quite at my wit's end.
Yeah,
So
sometimes
thank you.
Sometimes it seems a little bit faster, but close enough. Close
Yeah.
enough for government work, as they used to say.
Yeah, close enough for, a single episode that has this issue, but we should be back to regular audio quality moving forward with this episode moving forward. Like I said, one glitched episode, but hopefully we don't run into that again. Hopefully the Audacity folks will figure this out and come up with a bug fix and make us all whole again. But for now, we're fine.
Yeah, you people out there, all of you, you think we just sit here and chit chat and, that's it? Yeah, no.
We got lots of
Auntie,
work.
Auntie does so much with the audio and editing it and, all that stuff. We've learned a lot, I think.
Well, we certainly didn't go stagnant in our retirement. That's for sure.
No,
We are
no.
still learning things.
I was doing a pretty good job of that till you came along.
Dusted her off and got her back in the game, folks.
I'm missing those afternoon naps after I get up and have breakfast.
Oh, yes.
I got to pay somebody to come and do the yard work, but that's got nothing to do with us.
I'm too cheap, so I do it myself. And I don't have a yard, so there is that.
You just have acreage.
Yes, but it's mostly treed, although they're coming down.
Yeah, hallelujah.
I'll have an update on that for everybody on our next episode. Yes, lots of fire mitigation and making sure trees don't hit my house after the tree had fallen on it a few weeks back. So we're getting things taken care of.
Well, it's a smart thing to do up there. That's for sure.
It really is. It really is. And the winds have been extra strong this spring,
Boy, they have.
which has
Yeah.
been unusual for us.
Yeah.
It's usually more of a midsummer
Huh.
kind of thing, or, early winter is usually when we get the really strong winds. And this year has just been very strange. That's okay. I'm getting prepared. We got this. Speaking of the wind, my weather vane at the beginning of the winter started making this awful squeaking noise. First of all, I hate this weather vane, folks. I am not a farmer. I do not need a weather vane at my house. It was installed by the previous owners. I have tried to give that thing away on multiple occasions, no takers. But I'd be happy to part with it any day. Because
Did you
not
put it
only
on
do I know
Nextdoor?
what?
Did you put it on Nextdoor?
No, because it's like really in the ground. So
Oh,
I don't know. It's like somebody's gonna have to really like deal with it because I'm certainly not. Not only is it a weather vane that I mean, go outside. You know when the wind's blowing. Like, do I really need to? I don't care what direction the wind is blowing in. You can walk outside and figure it out. You don't need this apparatus, and it's big. It's not the biggest one you've ever seen, that's for sure. But
is that
it's
the windmill thing?
yeah, it's a standalone, and I'll get back to the squeaking in a second, but it
Mm.
also is metal, silver metal that
Ooh.
catches the sun. No, it makes a strobe
Oh.
light inside my house from the sun. It's terrible. The thing is awful. But at the beginning of the winter, it started squeaking really bad. And I'm like, I'm not getting on a ladder in the winter to deal with this. Ever since the weather has gotten a little bit nicer, yes, wind every now and again, but it's, at least getting nicer out. I'm like, I got to get on that ladder and take my WD-40 out there and at least make that squeaking stop. Well, just before we were going to record today, of course, the wind kicks up, and I'm like, oh my God, I cannot have that squeaking on our recording. So I finally got out on the ladder, and it took me all of 30 seconds, folks. 30 seconds to spray WD-40, and the squeak is 100% gone. Why it took me so long? Like I said, the winter months made sense, but we've had a lot of nice days over the past few weeks, and
Because you had to haul out the ladder and set it up and
but the
climb
ladder
up.
it's one of those gorilla ladders that it is heavy, that I will say, but it's very, you just open it and it's very stable. It's very easy. It's not like one of those rickety
Yeah.
ladders that
Yeah.
you're used to, or people have in their homes and things like that. I've got two of those gorilla ladders, one really big one and one
Mm.
smaller one. So I use the
Hmm.
smaller one. Yep, 30 seconds. Problem was solved. I've had that can of WD-40 for a year. That was for something else, but so I have no excuse other than I just didn't want to stand on a ladder. And yeah, very quick and easy. So don't procrastinate, folks. Like, I'm so thrilled that I can't hear that thing anymore all winter long.
Now,
To
here's a
listen to
thought.
that.
Here's a thought. First of all, I would
Yes.
put it out there on Nextdoor and say, hey, I've got this thing. Put a picture in there and say, if you want it, you got to come and dig it out yourself. Number one. Number two, if nobody wants it, why not paint those blades or whatever like a flat black or something?
That's the next thing. Because I did think about that, but then I'm like, well, do you even want this thing?
Yeah.
Like, I don't. I have no affection for it whatsoever. It's like a $350 weather vane thing because they left, in the paperwork when
Hmm.
I bought
Hmm.
the house, they left the receipt for that from where they bought it from. I must be under some kind of warranty. I have no idea.
I bet
But
there'd be somebody out there. If you put a picture out there,
I'm just like, I can't stand this thing. But I have
yeah,
no idea how they put it in the ground. It is definitely very stable and in the ground. So I don't know if
you
they
could
poured
ask your neighbor.
cement.
You could ask your neighbor.
No, I don't think he was here when they did that. He
Well, he
only
could
moved
look
in a
at it,
few months before I did.
but he might be able to look at it and see,
Yeah. I'm
figure it
not
out.
looking for you to solve the problem, though, Auntie Joan,
Oh
but I
no, that's what
appreciate
I'm here for.
it.
I'm here to solve all your problems, Auntie. Just ship them my way.
Sometimes I just need a sounding board. I don't need a
I
solution.
know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. Sorry. Not sorry.
That's what I was going to say to somebody. I was going to say thanks, no thanks. But I thought about it when I was walking today in downtown Boulder when I went to go get my Safe Light. That's what I wanted to give a shout out to the Safe Light folks in Boulder. I went to, which is the windshield people.
Yeah.
I went there because I really like their glass cleaning spray.
so I wanted to go get more. And I said, I just want to buy a couple of bottles of your glass cleaning spray. And he said, okay, let me go get it. He comes back. He's like, no charge. I'm like, no. No. He's like, no, really, just take it. It's fine. And I'm like, no, like I haven't got my windshield done in a couple years because I don't need to. And I'm just like, no, I have money. I can pay. He's like, no, you're good. Thank you. And I was like, okay, bye. So shout out. That
Thanks
was
for
very sweet.
reminding me. I need to get my windshield replaced.
Ah,
I have for the last 7, 8 years.
well, at least for you, they can come right to your house.
Yeah.
Where I live, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So I would have to like go to your house for a day and park out front and let them
Oh, you don't want to do
do
that.
it. Well,
Ugh.
I don't need a windshield changed
I know you don't.
at this point.
Yet.
I do have a big divot in it. It hasn't spread at all, so until it spreads, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, mine looks like a map of the main highways in the United States. It's got lines going all over the place.
That's so funny. I've been in your car a million times and I can't honestly even picture it.
Mm.
I don't think I told you I'm not observant. Honestly, I cannot even begin to imagine what it looks like. Nothing. I got nothing.
Oh, well. And usually I can block out that stuff, but no, I'm very well aware.
Yeah, no, those guys are, I couldn't believe. And I got 2 cans, not just 1, 2, because I was like, I don't want to come back. Because it's been on my list for a while to get. I think I finished the bottle last summer. And I was just like, ooh, I really want to get more of their stuff. I really like their
Do
stuff.
you use it on all your windows or just your car?
I do.
Oh.
I don't know if you're supposed to. And there's probably going to be people like, what are you doing? But I like the way it looks. So I do, yes. Inside and outside of my house windows, I use that as well.
Mm. Mm.
I mean, it's window cleaner, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah,
You would
I
think
like
it
the way
would
it
be
cleans.
you would think it would be a really good one too, because of all the grit and grime that gets on our car
Right?
windows and stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I'm wondering if maybe it's a little too powerful for our house windows, so I
No.
shouldn't
Glass
use it.
glass is glass.
I do. So
Yeah.
far, they look fine. Well, they need to be done, but yes, that's why I wanted to get them because I'm like, the weather's starting to get nice and the windows are going to start to bug me soon.
Oh, it is starting to get nice.
It is, finally. I had my first cup of coffee outside on the deck this past week in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
First thing. It was lovely. I had just a sweatshirt and a pair of jeans on, and I was comfy wumpy drinking my coffee. Happy, happy, happy. Oh, and using our pickled watermelon rinds tumbler, which are not
Ooh.
available. They are collector's items at this point.
Yes, they are. Now, if you'd like one,
You got to be a guest.
yeah, you got to be a guest.
Got to come on, be a guest. We'll be happy to give you a tumbler as a thank you gift. Auntie Joan designed them. They're beautiful.
So what I did to celebrate the warmer weather
Yes.
is I went to this place called Massa Seed Foundation. They're off 75th, just south of Arapahoe.
Uh-huh.
And they have like heirloom tomato seeds. And then they also have plants, starter plants.
Oh.
So I've been wanting to get tomato plants that will taste like the old-fashioned tomatoes that we used to get when we were a kid. Because you go to the grocery store now, tomatoes don't taste like tomatoes. They taste like nothing. Unless you get the Capanelli ones like I get, the little ones on. But anyway.
Or the Nature Sweet. I do like the Nature Sweet grape tomatoes. They're very, very delicious. But they're expensive. You pay for it.
Yeah, you do, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But then what isn't these days?
Right.
So anyway, I went there and I got a couple tomato plants. And I think I won't plant them till after Memorial Day because I don't want it to get cold, them too cold at night. And I'm looking forward to moving my Christmas cactus out on the front porch because I'm tired of the gnats and stuff that want to hang around them. So, and the babies. My God, they're huge. I looked outside today. They're
Time to
huge.
kick them out of the nest.
They're going to kick each other out. Oh, they're huge. They're huge. Yeah. Yeah. They'll be gone soon. Yeah.
Good.
Well, then I could start trying to get the crows to come.
Ew. Why?
Because they're awesome.
They're disgustingly sized.
Oh, to
They're
me,
cheap.
the bigger, the better.
I passed a raven. Was it yesterday or was it just this morning? I can't remember. I was driving for sure. And I looked over. I'm like, you are gross. It was the size of a turkey. I'm like, you can't, you're not supposed to be this big. They're just not.
Yeah, well.
Just saying.
On the other hand, you've got the beautiful little hummingbirds.
Ugh.
Oh, and they
Rotten
haven't come back
things.
to my nest.
Oh, they
Or the
were,
one
I
that they
told you,
had.
they were obsessed with one of my cameras. They kept setting it off. I'm like, what? Why? Why are you here? But since the guys were clearing trees over there this week, I haven't seen them. So yay. Maybe he took down their nest. Yeah.
No,
I hope. I don't know.
no,
I mean, with the trees, in the trees.
no,
I hope.
no.
Get rid of them.
No.
Yes. My big thing is with the nicer weather is I turn the heat off during the day so I can open up the windows. And then I forget when I close the windows at night to turn the heat back on. It was 56 degrees in the house this morning.
Mm.
And I said,
Mm.
oh, right. Heat.
But you had that big burly brute to cuddle up to.
I did. The Beastie Boy does help tremendously.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Now we're to the part of our program where we discuss what we are watching. And we actually went on a field trip.
I treated Auntie groovy and took her to a movie.
And we saw Civil War.
Yes.
Yes, we did. With Kirsten Dunst and some other people.
Her husband, Jesse Plemons,
Yes,
had a
but his
bit
role
part,
was very, very
Yes.
small.
but integral.
Integral and
Oh, my
well
gosh.
acted as always. He is such a
Oh,
dynamic actor. Yes, that was
gave
probably
me the creeps.
his character was awful, but it was actually my favorite part of the movie. I did not particularly care for Civil War. It was, in my opinion, very boring. It's basically a modern day Civil War is what it was trying to portray. And
Dystopian.
yeah, it was just, I just don't think they executed it all that well. I didn't think the dialogue was super engaging. Kirsten Dunst had just this puss on her face almost the entire movie, and she's done that before. Of course, I can't ever remember what I saw her do that in, but I don't know. It was a fun day out with Auntie Joan. That I liked.
Oh, yes.
But I did not care for the movie much at all. Auntie Joan,
And
your take?
Auntie Joan liked the movie. She liked Kirsten Dunst and her character. I liked seeing her with a little double chin. She's no longer the ingenue that she was in Drop Dead Gorgeous when she played a beauty contest entrant. Jessie, I loved. It's hard for me to believe that those two are married. Yeah, defies logic in my mind. But anyway, there were a couple scenes there that shocked me, and I even kind of gasped at a couple.
You did, out loud even.
Yes. One thing that it kind of turned me off was at the beginning, it wasn't real clear to me, maybe I wasn't paying attention, who the good guys were and who the bad guys were.
It wasn't you. They did not do a good job with that at all. 'Cause I too thought when Nick Offerman's in it as well, who I do adore, and he played the president, and he was giving a speech, and it made it sound like they were the world, that the U.S. government was the world. Was it World Freedom Freedom? What the heck was it?
The Western Frontier, I don't know.
WF is all I remember seeing
Yeah.
it. I forgot what they were actually called. And it made it sound like that was the government. It was very highly confusing at the end when the two sides were battling it out because they were both wearing the same color fatigues. They both had the same exact level of ammunition. I didn't know who was who. I'm like, how are these people even supposed to know who they're firing at? They all, if you've got teams, you have two different uniforms.
Like the blue and the gray.
And
Civil War. Yeah.
to distinguish so it's easy to know who your target is. And it was highly, highly confusing. It turns out, no, the U.S. government was not WF. WF was...
Yeah. Yeah. They were the one with the jets and everything. That's what just I don't know. That was weird. That was weird.
Yes, agreed.
But I did like the actors and the seeing a movie at the movie house or the theater
Yes, with reclining seats.
with reclining seats and cup holders.
Yes.
You see a lot of stuff that I mean, I like seeing the big screen like that. However, people, if you don't go to the movie too often, you ought to pack away little earplugs just in case.
I did not
Because
find it that loud.
oh my gosh.
I mean, it was, but I expect that in a movie. I guess I should say I expect that in a movie theater. I don't have a problem with it.
I didn't have earplugs, but I had tissues, Kleenexes with me, and I tore out little pieces and stuck them in my ears.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
yet
did
when
not
I
see
go,
her do that.
what?
I did not see you do that.
Yeah, I did that. I couldn't handle it.
Also,
yeah-
make sure that when you first sit down, check to make sure
Ah.
your seat works, because this is not the first time that, now everything's assigned seats in these AMC theaters. You have to select your seat before you get in there,
Yeah,
and you get in there and your seat doesn't recline or whatever.
yeah, that's true. That can be frustrating, especially if that's why you chose that theater to begin with.
Exactly. Thankfully, because, we're retired. We went during the day. It was an 11 o'clock in the morning movie. And and Auntie Joan treated me to a senior citizen discount.
Yeah.
The theater only had like 4 other people in it. So when
I
we
did.
realized,
By the way, I did ask the kid. I said, I want one senior. How old do you have to be get a senior discount? He says, "Oh, this is my first day. I honestly don't know. You qualify." And I said, "Well, I know I do, but my friend is, like 53 or something." And he said, "Okay, yeah, that's good." So
wait a minute. I don't know if
Yeah.
I like that answer.
what? No,
I mean, I like
no.
the discount.
Well, that was
I
it.
mean,
He didn't know, but he figured probably over 50.
she's
and you're
old
in.
enough. Jeez.
So it's not like I was sneaking her in at a senior rate. I asked.
no.
I'm honest.
So we were able to change our seats very easily. The popcorn was delicious as always in the movie theater.
I got
Auntie
my
Joan-
icy.
Auntie Joan had an icy.
I mixed it. I got the cherry and I mixed a Coke in with it. So that was nice.
Nice. And I just
Yeah.
got my Seagram's ginger ale that I do love. Yeah. I mean, like I said, it was fun getting together with Auntie Joan, because we don't normally, when we review things, watch them together. So that was fun. And then, of course, we went to Uka
Uka.
afterwards.
Oh
Uka.
my.
Delicious Asian fusion, and
It-
it's
oh.
well, actually not really a fusion, but I think that's what they technically call
Yeah,
themselves.
I think
Do you
because they
think it's a
have some
fusion?
Chinese, Thai,
Yeah,
they've got,
Japanese sushi and all
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Delicious. We love the
Oh, it
Uka
was.
in Broomfield, Colorado. We don't go nearly as much as we want to go, which is
Yeah.
probably an okay thing. But we hadn't been in a while, so it was extra special.
It was so good. It was so good.
Delicious. We love
And
it.
I didn't even ask them to make my drunken noodles mild.
No.
The way they brought it to the table was perfect. Maybe I'm
Nice.
adjusting, but I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I love their veggie, what, AAC sushi,
Yes.
avocado, cucumber, and what's the other? Asparagus.
Asparagus.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, so good.
And I get the avocado peanut and sweet potato
Sweet potato.
tempura sushi and a main dish and crispy spring rolls. And I had hot and sour soup.
Oh, I had the egg drop. That was tasty too.
Yeah, everything's so good. We were very, very happy. Sad when we returned home with our leftovers, only to finish them very promptly thereafter.
Well, I waited till dinner time.
Yes, that's
Probably
what I meant.
7-ish. Yeah.
That's what I meant. Same day, basically.
And then the next
versus-
day I told
wanted
Auntie, I
more.
said, I had it for dinner last night, my leftovers. I'm out. Can you go pick me up something?
Yeah.
No,
So yeah, Civil War was a bit disappointing for me.
not for
but,
me.
That's okay. Well, you didn't talk about the younger girl who you thought was super annoying.
Oh, she was annoying, but I looked her up because I thought
Mhm.
she looks familiar. Do you know what other movie she was in?
No,
Priscilla. She played Priscilla Presley.
I didn't see it.
I didn't like her in that either because
No, I didn't
she,
see it.
Oh, but I didn't like her in it because she just didn't
Oh.
say much. I don't know if that's how Priscilla really was, but yeah, she is cute. She's a little cutie pie, but yeah, man, I would have kicked her out to the curb long time ago after
Yeah.
yeah, just kept getting in the way. And
Oh, another thing that bothered me in that movie was the lead actor, Wagner Moura, played Joel. He
uh-huh.
seemed like he was not necessarily into Kirsten Dunst's character, but maybe a little bit,
hmm hmm
And then it's going to be a spoiler, so turn off the podcast if you don't want
hmm
to hear what the ending is, because I have to say it to get my point across. When Kirsten Dunst's character gets killed at the end, he just like keeps going with the military people. Like there's no, oh my God, and when that other gentleman had died, and of course,
Sam
Sam, Stephen McKinley Henderson.
sounds
Is
like it.
that right? Yes, that's him. Stephen McKenzie Harrison, he dies, and this guy screams, and he's all upset,
Oh yeah,
and he's,
that's
oh
right.
my God, tormented and awful. And then Kirsten Dunst, who he's, a not only business partner, but like I said, you kind of felt like there might have been a little
Uh-huh.
that he was enamored with her in some way. And just like steps over and keeps going with the military to finish whatever, the job that they were.
Yeah, I didn't. You know what? I didn't catch that, but you're right.
I
Yeah,
was
the
like, well,
contrast and between
yeah.
the
I'm like,
deaths. Yeah.
so anguish completely when Sammy dies, but the woman that you're with all the time, that's your business partner, your partner in
hmm
crime, and likely have a little affection for, she just got shot out of nowhere. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep
Eh,
going.
another one bites the
I
dust.
gotta go. I gotta go with the military. See ya. I was like, what the? And the little girl just sat there. And the young girl,
She was little.
whatever. Anyway, yeah, she is little. Not young. Well, she's young too.
Yeah,
But
she's
you know
young
what I mean.
too. Uh-huh.
But anyway, she just sat there. So he walked away from both and the entire movie, he had his hand on the young girl's Kevlar. Every time they went into, a different room or were with the military and stuff, he was constantly holding on to her. Again, Kirsten Dunst's character gets shot. The young girl's, laying right next to her, and he just goes off with the military people and just leaves them both. And I'm like, well, that was weird.
Wait a minute. Now, see, now I don't remember that. She stuck around.
In shock because she had just taken the pictures as she was falling.
Yeah.
And she just laid there, then sat up and just was like, and everybody else just kept going, including that guy, Wagner Moura's character, Joel. So nobody cares that no military stopped to see if they were okay, like, or picked up the young girl and like brought her.
Unless he was following just to get pictures.
He didn't have a camera.
Oh no, he doesn't. He's the writer.
He was the journalist.
Was the writer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, this was so weird. Yeah, I had problems with this movie.
I still liked it.
Yeah, no.
And I know I've seen that. What's his name? Mora.
I looked him up. I did not recognize a single other thing he was in.
I know I've seen him in something.
I
So
don't know. Nothing on IMDb
yeah,
struck out at me.
I looked that up because I was trying to figure out where have I seen, but
Yeah.
none of those looked familiar to me either.
Mm-mm.
So
Mm-mm.
oh
So
well.
yes. So my favorite part of the movie was Uka and the popcorn.
Welcome back now.
Welcome back. Now we're to the part of our program where we discuss commercials we have to talk about. Auntie Joan, what you got?
I think instead of zeroing in on a particular commercial,
Yes.
let's focus on a particular star of the commercials.
Ooh, a twist. I like it.
Yes. And today, we're a little older, so what do we care about them? We care. Like I've said a couple times, just because there's snow on the rooftop doesn't mean the fire's gone out in the furnace. Let's discuss Jason Momoa and his commercials.
Jason Momoa.
Before we get to the commercials,
Mm.
I remember I first noticed him when he was in one of those sci-fi series.
Aquaman?
No, 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 no. This was back maybe the late 90s. It
Oh.
was one of those, I should have looked it up, but he was an alien person. He had some type of prosthetic makeup on or something. Oh my gosh, I remember him from then because he reminded me so much of a guy I worked with.
Mhm.
Yeah. So anyway, that's how I first got onto Jason Momoa. One thing I like about him and his commercials is he doesn't take himself seriously. He's got a
No,
good sense of humor about his own self.
he does.
And for the Super Bowl, he did a commercial for Rocket Mortgage.
Not this past Super Bowl,
Oh,
moons
which one
ago.
was it?
I
Oh,
don't know. It was a
oh,
while ago.
okay. Okay. Never mind. It was for a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows him coming home, taking off his muscular arms, ripping off his abs,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
taking off his hair,
Mm-hmm.
and then and then he's doing with a barbell. And
Mm-hmm.
Lisa Bonet, his wife at the time,
Mm-hmm.
was there helping him lift up this weight bar with no weights on it. I don't even believe there were weights on it. And he was whimpering. He couldn't lift it. He couldn't lift it because he had these skinny arms. And Lisa's there trying to help him lift it up. And it was just, oh, it was so good. It was.
Yes. I remember that commercial. It was very, very well done. Some
Mhm.
people found it disturbing to watch him take off his muscles and stuff like that. I thought it was, like you, very funny, very well done.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that, like you said, he doesn't take himself too seriously, is willing to put himself out there. And he's been
Mhm.
on SNL and he's silly on SNL.
Mhm.
I loved his T-Mobile home internet feeling commercial with Zach Braff. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
And
Zach Braff.
the other guy that I can never remember his name, but I do really like him a lot. They were in Scrubs together. That's how I know the pair of
Mm.
them. And
Mm.
anyway, Jason dances and it's just silly. And I'm like,
Like
that's
from
awesome.
Flashdance.
Yes, and he rips his shirt like from Flashdance. And I don't necessarily love his movies, I have to say. I haven't really found one
No.
thus far that I'd be interested in watching. Put him in a commercial any day, put him on SNL. I'm a happy, happy girl.
Yeah, you can't. Oh, yeah, he was in Game of Thrones too.
I didn't watch Game of Thrones.
Oh, I wish I could remember what the name of that. Oh, Stargate Atlantis, 2004 to 2009.
Oh.
He was in that, and that was my first experience with him. So Larry would watch it because he liked all the science fiction shows.
Mm-hmm.
So he would watch it for that. And I would sit there and watch it just to see Jason Momoa, even back then. So I
I
have
didn't.
to,
Go ahead.
I have a knack sometimes for picking out people who are going to make it. Mhm.
If you do say so yourself.
Oh, well, I do. I do say so myself. There's been others, that I've kind of, you know.
It was my hairdresser who first told me about Jason Momoa. And I acted like I knew who the heck she was talking about. She's much younger than me, and had no idea. And that I didn't even like go and try and research it once I left the salon. But I did ultimately see him, and I was like, oh, I get it now. Because she was saying how enamored she was with him, and blah blah blah. And I was just like, I don't know who that is. Now I definitely know who he is. And
Oh, he was an animal in Game of Thrones. He was well, you didn't watch it, so you don't know.
no, but maybe our listener would like to hear your take on it.
Well, no, he was the mate of the blonde who became the mother of dragons.
Oh, gotcha.
Mm-hmm,
Gotcha.
mm-hmm. Oh, he's 44 years old.
Yes. Closer
And he
to
is
my age.
available. He is available, ladies.
Yes, he
He's,
was very heartbroken over Lisa. And
oh, was he heartbroken?
yeah.
How did she? I mean, first she had Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah, but he's stinky.
Oh, I don't care. I mean,
I agree.
mean,
I think he's beautiful too. I could put that stuff like they do when you get
Oh,
when you go to a crime scene.
Vicks Vicks Vapor Rub.
Yeah, put that under my nose and be with Lenny Kravitz all day long without a problem.
Who told you he was stinky?
I've heard that over the years,
Oh, no.
honestly. I don't. I think he did something, it was a special about him or whatever, but he was like on an island. He was living on an island. Maybe he does live on an island. I don't know. From what I understand, he's and actually it was very funny. Jimmy Kimmel was just on Seth. He's like, the beautiful men that come on my show are the stinkiest.
Really?
And it's the older men that smell the best. He's like, because they come in with all their different types of colognes and he's like, they all smell really good. He's like, but beautiful men, they probably figure that's their way to keep women at bay. To stink it up. He didn't specifically talk about Lenny Kravitz. It was just a general statement. He didn't specifically talk about anybody. He named some of the older gentlemen that smelled good. Like I think he said Don Rickles smelled really good.
Huh.
And
Oh.
I forget, he mentioned somebody else, but I don't remember off the top of my head. But he didn't name any stinky people. He just said, the more beautiful the man, the stinkier they present themselves.
I think I've heard that Sting had an odor about him.
Okay. Well, I don't necessarily consider him a
Well,
beautiful man.
I do.
You
But he
do?
looks like, yes, but he looks like my
Ah.
grandpa. My grandpa.
Oh, that's sweet. A little kink too, but it's sweet.
Yeah, he reminds me of my grandpa.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's adorable. Like I said, I don't know if that's true about Lenny Kravitz. That is just what I had heard.
You know, I could believe it. I mean, he just kind of looks, but he's always
natural.
wearing
They
the
look
leathers.
like, yeah, and they
He's al-
go more natural, and you stank.
the leather clothes and the dreadlocks and yeah, I just
Yeah, because it's hard to wash those dreadlocks. I had a friend's sister who got dreads, and she would tell me, she's like, yeah, you can't really wash it. I'm like, sorry, what? And I'm like,
no,
I don't
no,
know."
you wash him.
Well, you
They
do,
wash
but
'em.
it's just you can't like really lather it up because you're going to be pulling out parts of the dreads. You know what I mean? Like it's a
Oh,
very you have to be very gentle with your hair
Well,
washing.
you have to keep them up too. I think you have to keep twisting
Yes.
them and stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
But I remember when Lenny got those dreadlocks cut off the first time, and he mentioned that he felt it was like freeing. He felt it was a time in his life when he wanted the freedom. He just wanted to unburden that. And so he went around without dreadlocks for several years. So I'm just surprised to see him back with them. But
Oh, I didn't know he was. When did you see him?
mhm.
What is
Oh,
he
I didn't
on?
see him in person,
Oh,
but
I figured.
it's hard for me to pinpoint time now. Maybe
Oh.
10, 15 years ago.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, because I haven't seen him doing anything recently. That's why I was curious. I'm like, where did you get to see him? Because I haven't seen him on like a show but then again, what would I see him on? I don't know. But
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, that's right.
Jason Momoa, 2 thumbs up. You keep doing what you do, my dear.
And Jason, if you're ever out this way, I know a couple gals, experienced gals, that would love to meet you at Uka.
Meet you at Uka and we'll do a little podcast recording.
Yes. Or you could go to Auntie's house and sit on her deck.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't say
Sip
what I was
coffee
gonna
in the
say.
morning.
Whew, never mind. Not kid-friendly show, but probably not as perverse as I can get either. So I'm just going to let that one slide.
I don't think he's that good of an actor, but who cares?
I don't care.
Yeah.
But he does do really well in SNL. Sketch comedy, I think he does pretty well with. I honestly, I don't even know if I've seen him really in a movie because I don't like anything he does. Like, I don't like that genre of what he does. Like the
Yeah, me
Aquaman
either.
stuff. I think
Yeah,
I did
yeah.
sit down and watch Aquaman just because he was in it. And I was so bored out of my mind. And I was like, I really hate this, but I want to see him. And I like him. I think he's in.
So if y'all want to see the Jason Momoa I fell in love with, try to find Stargate Atlantis somewhere on your streaming services and
There you go. Or
catch
clips
him.
on YouTube. I'm
Oh,
sure there's
yeah.
clips on
Yeah.
YouTube
Clips
somewhere.
on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah, that's a ticket.
All right, Auntie Joan. Anything else you want to share with our listener for today?
No, I think we've pretty much worn ourselves out.
I think so. All right. Well, that wraps it for yet another wonderful episode of Pickled Watermelon Rinds. We thank you for listening. This is Auntie signing off.
And Auntie Joan saying bye-bye now.
Goodbye.
We thank you for listening, and remember, when life eats away at your core, make pickled watermelon rinds.